This year, since day one to now, he's been amazing. Really calm, know what he wants, and his confidence. That's the main part. He's got good confidence at this point.
Going into round 4 at High Point Raceway, Ryan Dungey enjoyed a positive, productive week working at Alden Baker's newly built training facility, while Ken Roczen spent the week fighting criticisms from his trainer and logistical problems with his team in their efforts to improve his bike suspension settings.
He's not even trying now. To me, this is mental weakness.
If somebody just puts like a steel rod in the front, just no suspension, then when you hit a bump, that's how it feels like.
You want to come to the race and have a good setting and just have everything roll smoothly along. And so far this year, it's been a struggle to find that setting.
Aber im Moment müssen wir Schadensbegrenzung ausüben. Wenn du hast einen richtigen Ken Roczen, dann fightest du um den ersten Platz.
Well, let's do the rear, and then if it still feels like weird or something, then I'll come in and we'll make an adjustment.
Definitely puts a lot of pressure on myself and the team, and even Ken himself. He just doesn't seem his carefree nature.
In Moto 1 at High Point, Dungey shocked the field by starting in 7th, passing everyone including Roczen by lap 4, and cruising to victory.
Can anyone beat Ryan Dungey?
Going into Moto 2, Roczen desperately needed to cut off Dungey's momentum.
And into turn number 1 they go. Down to the bottom part of this racetrack they come. Ken Roczen, the German rider, into the number 1 position.
This is it. This is what we've been looking for, the fight between Roczen and Dungey.
Solid lap, let's go.
Ken Roczen answers with a 59.5, but Ryan Dungey lowers it again at a 59.4.
Dungey spent the majority of the race within striking distance of Roczen, but amidst the roughest track conditions of the day, Ken was able to ride the fastest lap times clocked all afternoon, answering each of Ryan's assaults.
There's a checkered flag. Kenny Roczen with the win.
Everybody stand behind me, my dad and Clint. We put in some hard work, and Kelly's the best mechanic out there, and it feels good to finally get an overall.
He just laid it down, and he showed Dungey that he's a force to be reckoned with, and this championship's not over. It's just an unreal feeling.
That whole week, that was absolutely miserable. Going into the weekend, I was like, man, like, I didn't know what to think.
I think the biggest difference the weekend at High Point was physically you were getting stronger. The ankle was healing, the back was feeling better. You were starting to peak again and getting closer to 100%. I believe in Kenny. I think if we can get all the puzzle pieces put together in the right way, he will be the next big thing. Through concussions and ankle injuries and broken backs and viruses and all these problems with trying to find the setup that he likes best, here we are. He's still in the hunt. Some of these race wins that he's had, I sit back and go, wow, I didn't really think that was possible. He doesn't have to be 100% to win.
Finishing in 2nd place in Moto 2 at High Point did little to damage Dungey's points lead over Roczen in the championship race. However, it certainly produced some painful memories from last year, when Ken beat Ryan on multiple occasions, and for the overall title.
Last year, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, Ken Roczen, he won it straight up, for sure. A lot of fear I dealt with last year. I'm definitely in a better place. I enjoy what I do more. Working with Alden's been great. The bike, I get stronger.
One of the methods Baker has used to improve Dungey's preparation is combining his training with 250 class riders Adam Cirillo and Marvin Muscan, as well as the talented 450 rookie Jason Anderson.
With Jason, I've always felt that that works well because you've got guys that want to be up there that are learning, and then you got Dunge, who's the guy that wants to stay up there.
This turn here, dude, I don't know, like, can you get on the inside there? I think you're getting too wide now.
Dungey, you know, he's been one of the guys to beat. He has won the Supercross championship and is leading the outdoor championship. That's cool to have him there, you know, just to see like what it takes to win.
Jason was the top performing rookie in the 450 class following High Point. While his consistency and stamina are a good distance from Ryan's, Anderson's lap times are often comparable to Dungey's, providing a competitive threat for Ryan in practice.
Each guy may have different days where it's tougher for them. My whole goal, having a facility, was to try and elevate that aspect of teamwork where they've got to be accountable for more. They've got to dig a little deeper.
58.32, 58.76, but hey, also go to the inside line here, dude. You're getting so
You'll get them comparing each other, and normally the black sheep or the one that's not on par, you'll get a couple of comments which they thrive on that. They racers.
Rita, midway through your thing, man, you started slackening. Ooh, look at that. Come on, AC, let's check it out here. Use your knees, China.
As a trainer, Alden's job title would lead many to believe his main role is preparing his riders' physical fitness and diet. But Ryan Dungey hired Alden when he had arguably the best stamina of any racer in the world. It seems one of Baker's key roles has been in the area of spiritual mentorship. For much of Ryan's career, he has doubted his preparation and equipment. And the reason for this may be the disappointment of losing nearly every race as a child because of his deficiencies in those two areas.
When Ryan was racing amateurs, we didn't have the good equipment. We couldn't afford it, for one. Credit cards add up. We'd build a house, sell it, pay off the credit cards, take the extra money, buy land, do it again. And I had to be equal. We all go, all three of us, all three boys, and we were always 5th, 6th place.
When I look back at it all, I lived in Minnesota, it was winter half the year. Gosh, you'd get pretty good by August, September, and time to put the bikes away. We'd pull the bikes out after like 2 months of not riding, and you'd go race against a guy like Villapota who would be riding all year round, and you would just get whooped. I mean, you weren't even close. Just unprepared. That was the stem of a lot of it. The insecurity, it really made me nervous. That was hard for me.
It's a very results-driven business. You're only as good as your last result. You're expected to win, and that's a heavy weight to carry. Well, if you win one race, well, it's expected again and again. That weight, it doesn't end. You have disappointments with injuries. I look at athletes that are one day unreal and the next day devastated through an injury. There's people out there that criticize you, want you to fail. How do you cope with that?
Whether at home or on the road, Alden encourages his athletes to develop a habit of stretching in solitude each morning. Discipline and sacrifice were first established by his parents, and then in the Army of South Africa from 1987 to 1989. It was mandatory for men in South Africa to join the Army in the 1980s, as the country was in a state of emergency and political revolution.
The military was a tough time in my life. It was something that I was very young, 17, getting thrown into trying to be ready to go to war. In that scenario, you're nothing. It was day by day. I was in a tough unit too that didn't really see good things. When you mention spirituality, which to me is God, I see now that all things can come good. I took the weight of all that and thought I could fight the world and fight the emotions. It's a way of dog eat dog and work your way up, and all that pressure's been on me to make sure that this guy performs to the best, but I'm not in control. I can only do so much.
The fragile nature of Ryan's position at the top of the championship point standings became more apparent at round 6. After hours of heavy rain, Dungey was fortunate to survive his mistakes in the second moto uninjured.
Dungey is down, and it's exactly what everyone's worried about.
And he's in a bad spot. He's a bad spot.
Ryan was able to ride to a 12th place finish, but his crash provided an open door for Justin Barcia to take his first overall win of the season. While Barcia has the talent necessary to derail Dungey's year, Ryan's team manager, Roger DeCoster, feels Dungey's new mindset will keep the threat in its proper perspective.
Many times in the past few years, he let little things that he could not control, he let it bother him, but that changed completely this year. Finally, I feel that he has ignored the things that he cannot change anyhow.
And now these riders are in front of the largest crowd that they will see all year long. And the 2015 running of this Independence Day Moto Classic.
There is no formula for success, and more people will fail than succeed in motocross. Every trip to the starting line is made in trust that your machine, body, and competitors will properly react to the coming challenges. There is a point where all knowledge, preparation, and talent fall short, and every racer is measured by their faith.
We are down and into turn number 1 they go.
Next time on MX Nation, as the season moves into its second half at Red Bud, Millville, and Washougal, Roczen will have his final opportunities to defend his title.
Come on, push!
For Ken, there is new hope in his machine and fitness, while Dungey will rely on his new marriage and community of friends to maintain his momentum.